Hey everyone, Blackjack here. I just wanted to reminisce because in a couple of hours it'll be a year since I swallowed a foreign object and had to be hospitalized and have emergency surgery and all that unpleasant stuff. I thought I'd give you guys an update on how everything's healing. They told me the scar would take about a year to go away, but as you can see, it's still there. Um, I've been using a roller perfume and I think it's getting a little irritated. It smells like strawberries or raspberries and roses. It's so good. And maybe I could just put it on the sides. I don't know. But yeah, it itches a little bit. And that's a recent development. I think that's from the perfume. But yeah, it's still, it's still there to be irritated. So it's odd. I still don't think my voice has come back. Um, Everyone, including several of my directors, has told me that they don't hear any difference, but I sound different internally. And it's weird. I sound very beepy in my head, and I don't sound anything, well, like I sound kind of like I used to, but not a whole lot. It's weird. In my, when you hear your own voice in your head when you talk, I sound like a completely different person. But when I hear my voice being recorded, I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's me. So it's very odd. And I remember when they were taking me in for surgery, I remember telling the surgeons, you have to be really, really, really careful. I'm 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 a voice actor. This is what I do, and if anything screws up, I don't know if I can continue in that. And they were very reassuring, telling me that it was close, but not too close to my vocal cords, and but I still don't sound the same to myself. Tell me if you guys have been following me for a while, if you've noticed any difference in my voice, because it just seems like I'm the only person who does, and that's so weird to me. Gosh. I have still on my phone. It transferred over from my old phone. In my notes, I have a note that I wrote on the way to the hospital, telling them that I thought I had swallowed a chicken bone, because that was the initial thing that we had believed. We were quite surprised to find out that it was a tine from a plastic fork. Uh, I wrote down that I'd swallowed a chicken bone. I couldn't breathe correctly. Um, that I wanted to avoid talking. Um, I'm autistic, so you need to be very direct with me, but also it doesn't impede my communication. I just don't want to talk because of the puncture. Uh, so I did end up speaking during the initial meeting. Um, I don't remember what I said. I was kind of in a little panic, and yeah, everything's just been weird. For the few days after the surgery, they wouldn't let me drink anything. All my food was coming in through a tube in my nose, and the weird thing is that it was really high carb stuff. It were like the same drip feed that they give everyone, and I was looking at the bag when they were changing it, and I was like, what? Because it was throwing my blood sugar all way off whack, because I couldn't have any of my blood sugar medicines because I don't take any injections. I I it's pills and diet. And yeah, if my diet is high in carbs and I can't get the pills, then it's troublesome. So for a few weeks after that, my blood sugar was just heavily out of whack. And since I couldn't drink anything, what they had me do is they had me wet a sponge on a stick, stick it in my mouth, just get my mouth all wet, and then spit it out. And it was so freaking weird. I will say this though, from my hospital bed, I could play Pokemon Go. There were like three stops in the area. It was funny. I was just out of reach of a gym, though. Just out of reach. But it was pretty interesting. I just, would check my phone and just flip a stop every few minutes. Um, Sometimes my character would wander to where I could reach the gym, so that was entertaining. Um, I finished up a chapter of Gakten Soku, Cultivate the Vine, and finally got to do the AO3 Author's Curse thing. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting to see how people actually believe that. They'll be like, I want to post a story, but I don't want the author's curse. It's like, no, it's just because there's so many thousands of people to post on this site. Statistically, something's going to happen to someone. Yeah, hi, Thiener. Hi. Oh gosh. I when I got back from the hospital, she was so happy to see me. That's right. The camera's on the front. She's just so incredibly happy to see me. Sonic was indifferent. Sonic was always indifferent. She was a sweet little bird, but goodness, she was not social. Yeah, hi, Chirp. Yeah, hi, Chirp. I don't know if you can hear Athena chirping in the other room. But yeah, that's if anyone has any questions about like anything that happened to them. We think it was in the salsa, but mom and dad got rid of the salsa before I could get back home because no one had used any plastic forks to cook with. And the thing is that the reason we had salsa and taco fixins and stuff is because my niece had stayed over then too. You might hear her squealing in the background right now because my sister's anniversary is July 3rd. So she was over here and she wanted tacos. And I'm just so glad it wasn't her that had that. I mean, that little kid already had brain surgery, right? She actually, she thought, through a conversation with my dad, she thought everyone had brain surgery at some point. I have this picture of her from her brain surgery. She has her head all wrapped with this like mesh netting, and her face is all puffy. And I remember I told the doctor she looks like one of those Asian pears in the supermarket, and the doctor is just like, fortunately, I wasn't too puffy. I mean, I'm always kind of puffy. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's just talking about my blood sugar. Come on, but I did have like this was all bright red for a while. Some of it was from the bandage because my skin doesn't tolerate that, but yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting time. So if anyone has any questions about the surgery or the recovery or what it's been like over the year, let me know. It was a scary time, and I got to update you guys, and I was really glad for the support. So, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being my buddies. I'll see you next time. Until next time, I'm Blackjack Gabbiani, and I had a hole in my esophagus.